Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another podcast. The paradox of women wanting the best man, right? And let me make this clear. Let me make it clear because once again, we got all this back and forth with the so-called black gender war and people saying stuff. When I say women, I mean women. So this apply to black, white, Hispanic, Italian, Albanian, Tasmanian, Tanzania, Kenyan, Russian, Chinese women. I've seen this with women all over the world, so that means men all over the world that face that. I gotta make that distinction, man. This is just pure game right here for whoever. But have y'all noticed, right? This for the fellas. Have y'all noticed? Women, they will go on TV private and say they want that best man. They want that man who's, this is what they'll say. They tall, handsome, got money, knows how to treat him like a lady, can make love to him like crazy, right? It's interesting. Yet when they meet that man, they got real problems with him, or they don't want to deal with him, or they're intimidated. Here's the reason. Because part of that thing in wanting the best man, they also want him to be monogamous. Oh, and also have an attraction to idiots. But I'm gonna let that one go. Right? But they want him to be monogamous. In fact, that's how a lot of women used to buy my book, Nice Guys and Players. Because I said, yeah, that's the ultimate man for y'all. Y'all want that man who got it all going on, but it's only about you. And that's cool. That's cool to want. It's a good fantasy. But a lot of times, women know, right? Despite what some men think, they got some sense. They gonna look at that guy. Okay, they say, all right, yeah, he handsome, he got money. Shoot, he got about 15 women. Then they don't want to mess with him. Have y'all noticed that? Seriously, man. Really, as fellas, look. I take what women say publicly with a grain of salt. Because as I told many guys on my private site, on my Connect Pal Raw site, Rom Wills Raw, I said the guys who are really like the Mr. Good bars, the guys getting all the play, are average looking as a whole. They're average looking with good bodies. They're not drop dead gorgeous, or they ain't having a lot of money, probably work like average jobs. The best they got is like decent bodies. And I do mean decent, because sometimes if the body is too cut and too muscular, women still get intimidated, right? The only exception is if the dude is a escort or a stripper, and they paying for it. That takes it away, because they figure, all right, they know what it is then. They just paying for some D. But other than that, and the reason why, because a woman knows she be in that harem. And a lot of women don't like that. They'll do it if, for lack of options. They will do it. But the average woman wants to pretend like, oh yeah, this guy gonna be just for it. But they know. In fact, that's so deep that if a man got all that, and many men can attest to this, they'll meet that man and they'll say, oh man, he got all this going on. He's too good to be true. Or they'll think something wrong. If that dude say he don't have a girlfriend, they'll say something's wrong with him. I remember I met a woman recently, right? And I told her, she thought I was with somebody, and I was like, no, I just met her. And then I said, we started talking about it. I said, yeah, well, my needs are taken care of, right? Because I don't have a steady girlfriend, but sex is just a phone call away. And that's always the case with me. It's like one phone call away. And I tell women that if they ask. Sometimes I tell them if they don't ask, just let them know. And they be, one woman got all, she was like, oh, you got a roster and all that. It's like, what you expect? I know I seem all humble on here, but I have a very, very, very high opinion of myself, right? But I was just being honest with her. Now, it's funny. It really is funny because they know that. That's why a lot of times women, you'll see a woman, you wondering why she with that dude. Because she think that dude will be loyal to her. Or sometimes women will go for like a less than dude, don't have that much going on because of the control dynamic. You got a portion of women, not all women, but a portion of women, they ain't gonna be comfortable unless they have some type of control over that dude. They are not going to be comfortable. So that can be monetary or sexual, or they look better. A lot of times a woman who might rate, like say a 9 or an 8, because 9s and 10s, they travel in a different world. Say they rate an 8 or something, right? That 8 will likely go for a 6 or something, because she's always going to have some leverage. Because, you know, if a man, most men, let's be real, man, most men are simps. Most. All right, I'm just going to put it out there. Most are simps. And they simps especially for women who are more attractive. Not so much for women who are less than attractive. If a man is like, say, a 6 and he's simping for a woman who's a 3, he got real issues he need to like address. But if he's a 6 and he see that woman who's an 8, and I've seen this with a lot of dudes who seem similarly thorough, they simping. Right? So when, you know, but see that same woman who's an 8, you know, she meet that guy who may be above her. Shoot, she gonna be a little nervous. Shoot, she gonna be like, oh, snap. And then she already gonna assume he got somebody. That's why when I meet some women, I just tell them. I just say, look, this is what it is. Because if you don't tell them that, they gonna think you're lying anyway. So it's like, shit, just be the truth. And then even then, they might not want to deal with it, because you still get those women who fantasize about that top dude who's monogamous. And they exist. In all fairness, they exist. But the only one I can think who was just on some high level like that, who was seemingly monogamous, is just some dude I hadn't, you know, I ain't asking any probing questions. And he's the type be careful about his shit anyway. But he made me wonder with some things he said, so, you know. But yeah, that's the irony of it. That's the irony. I mean, you know, you get these women, they get in seminars, they get online, and, you know, they, you know, go to dating services, want that top dude. I'm like, okay, you willing to compete with that top dude? Because there's been some women who land that guy, but then they going through his phone. Or trying to go through his phone. It's harder now with that fingerprints and stuff. Even then, he'd be like napping or something. They bring the phone over there, try to get his finger on there, get it on. Hope his ass don't have a sound on there to wake him up. You know, or they chase it around because they expect it. And it could be a legitimate guy the guys do exist who got all that and going to be monogamous, as I said, but. You know, the women ain't gonna trust that, because she gonna think somebody else gonna go on there, or try to get with them, or he cheating, and it's definitely they know other women checking for him hard. So that's the irony of it, man. That's the irony. Now, I ain't saying that's just something to keep in mind. Like, I get a lot of dudes, like I've done some videos on, you know, the issues good-looking guys might have. That's one of the biggest issues. The woman is like not trusting your intentions, assuming you're a player anyway. Which, incidentally, a lot of very good-looking guys aren't players, because they, quite frankly, many didn't have the need to actually develop game. Because you get a certain level of guy, women are going to chase them anyway, so they never had to develop game. Game is usually developed by guys who had some work to do. You know, they had to have something extra. You know, they had to develop a mouthpiece. They had to develop style. But, yeah. That's a funny thing when I see it. And then the women complain like, oh, what this listed. I'm just like, nah. So what lesson is this in for men listening to this? Just when women say that stuff, just nod your head, put in your bed if you want to. Seriously. Shoot, just put in your bed, because you never know. You never know. All right, just put in your bed anyway. It's, you know, when women say this stuff publicly, I'm just like, yeah, wow. Then find out they got with somebody that look nothing like that dude. But a lot of times they just intimidated by that best man, right? Anyway, right? Hey, that's all I got for y'all. Holla at y'all later. Peace and blessings.